oh, who them boys with the best D? Yeah, that's us. You know what I mean? Whoa, no diddy. I know it's a 51st date scenario out there. People going to forget what happened prior to the bye. So we're going to be back on the same drawing we was before, which was a bad drawing, of course. I know Kevin Patullo is trash, Dookie, and all this and that. Whatever, right? We'll get to that another time, right? I'm under the impression that them boys on the other side are on scholarship too, meaning they have great players as well, right? The Green Bay Packers happens to be one of those teams, right? Them Green Gate Packers, right? With them bullshit that they was doing to us and all that. They happen to have a lot of dudes who I covered coming up, right? A lot of dudes who could perhaps be on the Philadelphia Eagles if you know their situation and where they came from and all that. They have a loaded squad on defense. You going into Green Bay on a Monday night and all that like that. What an atmosphere. What a game. That was my favorite game of the whole season. I know a lot of people like shootouts and all that. Listen, whatever, you know what I mean? I guess I am. I'm OG, right? You know what I mean? You get your, nowadays, right, in 2026, you get in your late 30s, you be an OG and shit, right? Usually it's OGs and shit. They be in their 50s and, you know what I mean? But, you know what I'm saying? I digress from that. So I guess I'm OG because I'm all about defense. I understand that defense wins championships. Offense wins over casual fans. If I know I have a D that can hold a team like the Green Gate Packers over, I better stop saying that, right? Somebody gonna get offended or whatever like that. Listen, it's all banner and everything like that. I respect the Green Bay Packers from an on-field standpoint. I don't like that bullshit they was doing with the staff, the administration, and all that. I mean, it is what it is, right? Trying to get a competitive advantage, but doing it so off the field, right? You still lost to the Philadelphia Eagles, and I don't think we saw one brotherly shove, right? I could be wrong. I don't remember seeing a brotherly shove. I remember getting the 3rd and 2 just off a regular like fullback dive with Saquon Barkley. I thought that was beautiful. But man, for the most part though, I mean, it is what it is on that front, baby. A 10-7 win on the road. You hold a team like that with that type of offensive personnel to just 7 points, and they had to, you know what I'm saying, really, really dig within themselves to get those 7 points. Man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Game could have went either way, no doubt about that. But I felt like that defensive performance, man, outstanding. Jaylen Phillips in a debut like that, you seeing what a premium edge can do for you along with a guy like Jalen Hunt. You saw that boy out there, our young boy out there balling. Nolan Smith coming back, making an impact, making a presence. And, of course, the hall monitor, Nakobe Dean doing his thing. You saw what the run defense looks like with Nakobe Dean out there, and you saw what the blitz packages look like with Nakobe Dean out there, who can run through a brick wall if necessary. Man, it's outstanding. Jalen Carter and them boys doing it. Morrow, my man Jomo, right? Morrow Jomo. Anybody gonna give this guy his props? People on the back end. Quinyon Mitchell, man, he was putting on a clinic in certain instances. He was having a battle. They got some good receivers and all that as well. Oh, man, it's just outstanding. I'm not mad at it at all. Matter of fact, baby, we're going to have to go ahead and check it out. I may do more of the offensive stuff on the All-22. I know you guys going to look at that and see why. You know what I mean, there were some missed opportunities, no doubt about that. My man Hurts missed a post that was wide open. Imagine if he hit that joint. I believe it was to Dallas Goedert, maybe. But we can get on that another day. You know, this is the after-game review with the broadcast footage, so it will be paused and rewound ad nauseum. Y'all know the spill and all that, baby. Go Birds.
What more can I say?
Top Billin. The hall monitor, Nakobe Dean. Listen, if you a dick eater and you trying to push Nakobe Dean off the team for somebody who you've never even seen take a snap in the NFL, knowing the type of year that this kid had last year, do me a favor, right? Hit don't recommend channel. You know what I'm saying? I carry it like that, right? This dude, I can't fathom pushing somebody like this off the team, right? If you're a fan, right? I'm just talking about social media. Obviously, we don't control the personnel and all that, but you can control how you think about the game of football. The physicality that this dude brings to this team, to me, is unparalleled. We talking about a leader and everything. Watch, this is how you blitz. Watch, Josh Jacobs' stats, I was like, bang! Colin blowed that motherfucker, right? He was out on his feet, and then look at that, causing a fumble as well. Nakobe Dean, being sent, right? There's no running in the halls, but there's no passing, right? And there's definitely no picking up, no blitz. And he's definitely not going to chop his feet and be like, oh, man, I don't know about this or whatever like that. He's going to run through it. That's just it. Bang! Him versus Josh Jacobs. What a meeting of the minds right there. Two talented individuals, right, that have a history of covering there. And boom, look at that, man. Lifts Bull, gets Bull lifted like red and meth. How high right there? Lift him off his feet and then continuing to work vertically. Outstanding, man. We haven't seen that all year, really. You know what I mean? Nakobe Dean, man. Don't be trying to push that ball off the team, man. Stop stick eating rookies and shit all the time, man. Give it up to those who've played that you've seen play that played well. I hate that shit, man. Don't recommend channel. One aspect that I want to continue to give praise and thanks for is the adaptability of your man Vic Fangio. Known prior as somebody who was not flexible at all, who was going to play very conservative. We already talked about a lot of the space and shit before he came here, and how it was so conservative that of course you don't want to give up the deep pass, but I mean he would give up the shit underneath. Man, he's playing extremely aggressive this year. Once again, what really saved us was that pass rush at the end of the game. Having this bull right here, this youngin' Nolan Smith, they're coming through, and you'll see a couple of instances where twist up front, right, edge exchanges and all that were the difference in the game at the end as far as the pressure goes. You get Jalen Carter, of course, tying up a double. You'll get Maro Jomo getting soloed up here. And then, of course, in the Nell situation, come in with your boy Nolan Smith. So hammering the Nell situation. And look who was out there, man, the majority of the time, right? You come on there. I totally forgot we even had Nolan Smith, and my man was unable to step into it. Jordan Love right here getting fertilized. And great job of Nolan Smith by holding up and not putting all his body weight up on him. I seen some games over the weekend when I was like, damn, these dudes is dumb. Making great plays, but then doing nut shit. So look at that. Fake to the outside by Smith, right? Make it look like he was going to go to the outside. The tight end then releases, but look at that, all that airspace and opportunity because your man Fangio is going outside of himself and allowing his guys to work up front and be very aggressive. So you have to love that. Like I said, already running it for the most part anyway under his pupils, but, I mean, you can see the difference now. Conversely, we almost died by the sword as well. You get fab pressure here with Nakobe Dean, the hall monitor, coming through, right, pushing the guard back into the lap of Jordan Love. You get Maro Jomo this time tying up blockers, and then the nail situation comes from Jalen Carter coming up the gut. You also sent Zach Bond. Now, I wonder if Zach Bond was sent on a green dog situation, meaning if the back stays in, then he blitzes because he got a little bit too over-aggressive, and your man Josh Jacobs, let me clear this out. Josh Jacobs ends up leaking out here, and there was nobody there. That shit was scary. I seen it went front and watched Jalen Carter come through. Zach Bond has to chop it down. So he's like, oh, shit, he is releasing. And then, look, Josh Jacobs right there. But let's go back to what could have happened right here. Coming around that mountain when he comes is Jalen Carter. And then look at that. Oh, man. Oh, man. Look. What was going to happen right there? And that's Josh Jacobs in the open field. That could possibly have been a touchdown. He's fantastic in the open field with breaking tackles and all that there. But, damn, that was caught out there in man coverage. So, all that being aggressive shit, I bet you Fangio almost had heart palpitations right there. He's like, damn, why was I aggressive? Man, play of the game, Jaylen Phillips. What did I tell you boys about Jaylen Phillips? If this is a half-season rental, it will be a half-season rental that pays some serious dividends. And, man, you talk about having an outstanding debut. Now, look at this. When you have to have it, look at the personnel in the game, right? It's like Maro Jomo, Jalen Carter up front. We're in nickel, so, right, four-man front. You have Jalix Hunt at one edge, Jaylen Phillips at another. And off ball, you have the hall monitor Nakobe Dean along with Zach Bond. So think about that right there. They had to have it. They're going to come with their best personnel for the situation, and bang. Look at the physicality, man. The physicality right here is just outstanding. Bang. Look at him squeeze down. He being Jaylen Phillips right here. Right? He's going to squeeze down while still maintaining that edge. Right? On a lot of these teams, right, running with these tight ends on the outside, we should be able to dominate that shit. It's disrespectful to try to block somebody who's an edge player with a tight end. Normally, right? Some of these tight ends are really good, really damn. Darnell Washington, granddaddy himself in Pittsburgh, that's a different animal. But somebody like this right here, getting benched, right? Getting bench pressed, squeezed down, and one arm brings down Josh Jacobs in the backfield, and a strip right there that Reed Blankenship is able to fall on right there, man. A hell of a defensive inning. And that's exactly what you want from a defense that played that well the entire game for it to end just like that with your newcomer, Jaylen Phillips, and his debut, right, in green. Yo, I can't fraud. This is making me salty because I can't fathom having a Super Bowl team and it not being based on merit. Jahad Campbell, I hate to keep harping at this, but we got to because guess what? I'm covering the game of football. So if you're sensitive, I honestly don't give a shit, right? You can be sensitive somewhere else. I understand he's a rookie. I understand his age and all that there, but he's playing football and I'm covering it. So with that being said, I don't need to see Bull at edge, right? I want to see him back off ball in certain situations, right? I don't want to see him playing over a Jaylen Phillips. I don't want to see him playing over Nolan Smith, Jalen Hunt, none of these guys like that. He don't have it like that at the edge. It's just not going to be, to me, it's going to be a downgrade when he's out there. Now, I want you to watch this juxtaposition right here. You're going to have him with this tight end. Watch the run get to the outside right here. Bull just not physical enough to get off blocks, right? Like an old head caught up on the block. All right, check it out right here. Tight end squeezing down on him right there, right? You get physical with him, get back to the outside, stop trying to fight it through the inside, right? With a little chicken fighting going on right here. Can't leave it up to someone like Quinyon Mitchell to hold the edge. He needs you back inside there so they don't crease this off tackle. But that's what you get, and it gets all the way to the third level, and Reed Blankenship has to clean it up. I don't want to see runs getting to the third level. I want to see my edge player cleaning that shit up like this. Now, look at this. All right, in your nickel situation, passing situation, obviously, Jahad Campbell, that's what I'm talking about. I want Bull right there. He can play the pass. I'm cool with that, right? You want to take Nakobe Dean if we're just going to play the pass. But if you're going to blitz, I don't want to see Jahad Campbell in the game either. Right? I would want to see Nakobe Dean as the blitzer, and we'll get to that here in a second. But if you have an option with Jaylen Hunt, Nolan Smith, Jaylen Phillips, BG eventually, Patrick, I'm like, how are you going to play Jahad Campbell? Come on, man. Look at Jaylen Phillips right here. This is how it's done. Bang. Look at that. Throw it at that man. Discard him. Fertilizing the running back. That's how you draw it up, right? I want somebody to come out and be physical. Strike, right? Strike force. Bang, right there. You seen that, right? Look at his head, right? You know what I'm saying? His head's right here, right? Bang, extend his neck up, right? Grew him another couple of inches, right? You add a little height to his neck. Look at that, right? Taking that outside presence. You can see the outside presence right here, right? If you're running back, you want to get out there. Nope, he wants to funnel you back inside. But him funneling you back inside doesn't mean he's out of the play. You know why? Because he's going to discard the trash. Look at this. Excuse me. Get the f out the way. And bang, right around his boy, like man, squeezing his jaw loose right there. And then look at that. That's physical Philadelphia Eagles football. That's the shit that I'm talking about right there, man. I'm sorry, man. You can't be playing. I don't know, man. I understand it's a business. You draft somebody in the first round. You don't want to look bad and all this, that. And you feel like he may be a good player in the future, but you're adding these guys for a reason. You know what I mean? It just is what it is, man. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. We're not trying to play favorites. For the initiated, we know that in Fangio's scheme, you're going to have to play a ton of zone, a ton of off man, but he will let you get after it right in the chicken fighting stage, right? You're going to be right here in the battle zone going against Romeo Dobbs. Look at this. Physicality on point here. Turn mirror underneath. Small window of opportunity. Can't do it. Damn, this was outstanding work. I like this Romeo Dobbs kid, right? Bull is tough, right? This is a tough joint right here. The physicality at the beginning of it, right? Playing in the battle zone, right? This is just good work right here. He lets it go. Then he starts to get to work himself, right? Check this out. On the transition, right, he's on the locate and fill technique. He works in the transition and immediately turns out, and you can see it right here. When you turning out with that type of spacing, you did your thing right as far as locating the range. What are you going to do, man? There's just not much room to throw it. You got to be almost perfect. And 9 times out of 10, man, you're not going to be able to be that perfect, man. Hell of a rep by Quinyon Mitchell. Who's playing better than this boy, right? Having Duke draw the best assignment every week, the majority of the game. Love it, man. Watch Quinyon Mitchell play with outside leverage right on Romeo Dobbs here. Opens up the hips and right down, flat down it, and bang. Leaves him no room, right? It was going to have to be a virgin tight window for this pass to be completed into. You can see the patient feet, all right? Patient feet, playing football with what? Playing the cornerback position with his feet, not with his hands. Now, you get in the transition, people talking about, oh, he touched him. You're allowed to touch somebody. You can't hold them, and you definitely can't grab them and then propel yourself or even turn them in any kind of way. I don't see that right here, and y'all know I will call it right down the middle when we're doing this teach tape type shit. I think this is great work right here. Hell of a rep by Quinyon Mitchell. Hell of a player. Glad this boy is on our team. It feels like whenever we need a play to be made, the most clutch player on the team is Thin Diesel Devontae Smith. How many times must we go through this, right? Beautiful graphic here. You got a post-dig combination, and they get it to where Devontae Smith, right? Well, first and foremost, we got to go through it, right? You got too deep, right? A too deep shell. However, when you're running this, right, and they got that shallow underneath zone in the tight alignment, and then you're still running somebody off to the side, as we can see over here, you get them matched up on a safety, and that's a safety that still has it in park. So look at it out right there. My man is still in park. When he encounters Devontae, Thin Diesel Devontae Smith has been doing this shit since I've seen this boy in high school, man. He is an incredible player. I maintain he's the most talented receiver on the team. I don't give a shit who gets mad and all that there. This dude I knew was going to be a top 10 pick when he was in high school. He's that damn good, that damn formulaic. I compared him to Jerry Rice in my comp for him. And, yeah, he still has a lot of that same shit, man, that stride length, that ability to vary the rhythm in and out of his transitions without having to do all the hezzy shit, so he's always on time. He can get it off the top shelf. He's tough as shit. He can block. What don't you like about this guy? He is a #1 receiver. I don't know how many times I want to tell people, stop talking about his size. That shit is over with. That in my bag shit is over. Is anybody running out route clean? We got to go back. Look at Bull right here. Like, he doesn't have any quads. This dude is a gazelle. Like, his knees is all the way up to his femur and shit like that, right? Look how much quad he has compared to the rest of his damn leg. You know this boy can run. Then Jakob, look at that. Coming out of that transition, getting himself that Dr. Fauci style separation. My man Dr. Fauci will be very proud of that shit, but look at it coming out of that transition. You want to know how to run routes? That's how you do it, right? Boom. Dead in that foot energy. So where you can really concentrate and come up out of that joint, right? Because right, you're not taking long-ass steps, right? You chop it out to come up. Man, look at that. Look at his little deer gazelle legs right here. That man is a human deer. Look at that. Human deer coming up out of the break right there. Turns a super sharp angle. Runs that bad boy flat just like you teach it. And that's just too easy for him, right? You're going to play off-man coverage against this bull? When he can run like that and get out of his transitions? All right, we're going to cut it right there. I got a lot of stuff that I really want to get to on the All-22. Y'all know, like I said before, this is my favorite game. I feel like this is the best win of the season because of how it came, right? A lot of people going, shit, they're going to rain on my parade on this one, right? I don't care, right? Offense, to me, is a good complement to a great defense, right? In the style of play, like I said before, we left some meat on the bone, right? No Diddy. And there were plays to be made, right? Explosive plays there. Some goofy shit going on at the end of the game we'll have to get to in the R22 as well, right? But for the most part, if you're playing defense like that, man, that is a tough style to beat. It's a tough style to beat, man. It's just too physical up front. And then you have a bunch of balls you can rotate in to where you're keeping people fresh. I'm telling you, man, these are some outstanding ads. If we're talking about Jaylen Phillips, Nolan Smith being added back right off of injury, BG even making a little bit of a presence out there, doing his thing. And then, of course, we didn't even really get to check in on Michael Carter and Jair Alexander and all this. But what that does is it sits someone like Keely Ringo on the bench for sure, right? People ain't going to – some of them Ringo sexuals not going like that. But, I mean, that's where he should be, man, on special teams. Let him do his thing on special teams there. And for some odd reason, Adoree Jackson, no matter what, somebody asked me, I was like – and if I told him, like, if Adoree Jackson's still on the team – then I don't see why he's not going to play, because Fangio has something for Adoree Jackson. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is. He may have some naked pictures of, you know what I'm saying, of your man Fangio doing some weird nut shit or something like that. But it's something going on there while he's always playing. But he actually didn't have a bad game. He was sticking his neck in there, tackling and all that as well. So I will give him props, you know what I'm saying, when he does play well. But, man, I don't know what to say, man. It's a loaded defense. It's a defense that can get after it in a myriad of ways, and I love that performance, man. So with that being said, as always, make sure you tapping back in. Make sure you're supporting quality content when you see it. You know how we get down, man. It's hard out here on these YouTube streets, but your boy's still trekking and doing the damn thing. Just, you know what I'm saying, out the mud, from the muscle, and yeah, man, giving it back to all the fans out here, man. The fans, everybody in the Delaware Valley, everybody around the country, but most importantly, everybody in the Delaware Valley, and most importantly, everybody out in Philly, baby. So with that being said, stand up. Kensington, we in here, boys. It's your boy King Kensington right here. Big shout-outs to Port Richmond. Much love to Frankfurt, Fishtown, Northern Liberties, Spring Garden. Always love the Brewery Town, Strawberry Mansion, Allegheny West, West Philly out there with Overbrook, Cobbs Creek, Winfield Heights, always tapping in and checking in as well. Much love to everybody out in Center City and Uptown, Mount Airy, Roxborough, Manayunk. I love it out Manayunk. Man, South Philly, the P, Grays Ferry, Point Breeze. You know what I'm saying? All them neighborhoods getting in like that, right? Girard Estates. Oh, man. Far Northeast, Oxford Circle. Out there, Mayfair, Tacony. Everybody, baby. We getting it in. I love it. So, much love, baby. Salute.